Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a Bitcoin update video, and I'm going to do a little bit of Pi as well because, well, it's Pi Day. So to kick it off, happy Pi Day. This is something that I've told many people, hey, go to, and also if you don't have Pi and you want to get it because there's absolutely no cost, no charge, no anything to it, the only way to start mining though is to use somebody else's code, an invitation code. That link will be down below. So use that in the description. And there are a couple things. Just start off. Why a couple people don't like Bitcoin. You know, you have the part where it's ridiculed. You have the part where it's vehemently opposed. And then you have the part where it's just accepted. Bitcoin, for all its great things, and there's many great things I'm going to get into later, but it does not have a carbon neutral footprint. You know, Bill Gates, people like that are just saying like, okay, well, we don't like it. We don't like it because of the amount of electricity it does. China's been cracking down on it. A lot of people think that China's been cracking down on Bitcoin just because it takes away power from the government, and maybe that's true. Maybe they say like, you know what, well, under the guise of the economy and going green, we'll crack down on it. But I don't think so because they really do want to go green. Their politicians are technologically literate, environmentally literate. They're very, very smart, much smarter than American politicians. And you have these other things that they're doing, like bending over backwards to let Tesla into their country. They did not have to do that. They have 100 different startup companies that are all electric in China, but they want the best of the best bang for their buck for their citizens. Again, they're Chinese citizens. Any Muslim that goes there might end up in an internment camp, but I digress. Whereas Pi, on the other hand, it doesn't cost anything. You open up, hi kitty, you open up, you press a button, you're mining for Pi. Now, there's going to be about 80 something billion of those Pi coins in the future when this is done by the end of the year. So there's going to be a lot of them, but the demand for that is much higher than a lot of others, like Stellar or like there's so many out there. Strong will survive. It's adapt or die, and not all of these were made by Stanford graduates. Not all of these. Now that poses Bitcoin, Satoshi's, and that has the thing of being first to market on blockchain, and it back 5 years ago, yeah, it was a little scary. You had no idea where it was going. No one was accepting it. People didn't know what it was. Even people didn't know what it was until this year. Again, my parents didn't know about it until a few weeks ago. That being said, you have companies like Square, which put 1% of its entire holdings into Bitcoin. Twitter's going to do the same thing. Mark my words on that. Tesla put 1.5 billion into it, and they are not going to stop there. Cathie Wood of ARK Invest, the Warren Buffett of our time, the smartest investor on the street right now. Cathie Wood says, okay, the 60%, the old school, old guard dinosaur formula is 60% of your money in stocks, 40% in bonds. Stocks can grow a lot, bonds are safe. Okay, cool. If this was 1930, but that is not the case anymore. Right now, we have things that far outpace the stock market. Pokemon cards. 60% of my net worth is in Pokemon cards, and it wasn't always like that. But a certain percent, but because they grow so much faster. Again, why do they grow so much faster? Because you have a limited amount of certain of them. It's not like the dollar, where the dollar loses, I don't know how much buying power each year, where the dollar has these printed into an oblivion. $1.9 trillion, and we're all going to get our stimulus checks. What are people going to buy? They're not going to keep it. They're either going to waste it on something or they're going to invest in something. I'm putting every single thing that I have into Bitcoin. I'm no longer buying Tesla, even though I think Tesla will 10x by the end of this year. I'm buying Bitcoin because Cathie Wood says that 60-40 split is nonsense. It should be 60-20-20, where 60% stocks, 20% bonds, and 20% Bitcoin. But I think she is undervaluing Bitcoin because if you have this, again, Citibank says 300,000 by the end of the year. You have J.P. Morgan, Fidelity, all these other different places that are putting money into it, and there's no ETF in it yet. Now, MicroStrategy has been doing something absolutely crazy where every single thing that they have is in Bitcoin. Right now, I only have like 20 grand in Bitcoin. I put that over the last few weeks. I would have gotten in last year, but there was this one Pokemon card that I needed, so I had to pay that off. But this is something where, as I said, I do not invest in poop. Invest good quality stuff, and This is the future. There'll be boomers out there saying, "I can't even see it. Cyberspace. It's not real. It's not tangible." There are many of those people out there. They're wrong. It's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just what I'm doing. But speaking of MicroStrategy, why does MicroStrategy continue to feverishly accumulate Bitcoin? MicroStrategy's Bitcoin strategy is simple: sell software, take profit, and store value, but not in dollars. That is not what they do. On March 12th, Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategy, announced that the company had accumulated 362 Bitcoin worth about $15 million, adding to its already huge amount of Bitcoin. At this point, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy have demonstrated to the market that they feel the dollar price relative to Bitcoin is irrelevant. Because again, dollars go down. They're printed. What happens more of the supply? It goes down. Bitcoin only a finite amount, and Tesla and Square and Twitter are the first ones. And obviously, Michael Saylor. These more and more billionaires buy it every single week. More and more millionaires come out. And again, let's say 21 million can only be mined. If you have 21 million of them, not including the million or so that are lost forever because people bought them in 2010, it was worth nothing, and then it's just lost forever. It's not including Tesla, all these companies are buying billions of dollars worth. If there are more than 21 millionaires, there are 50 something millionaires, 50 something million millionaires in the world, and there are over almost 600 million guys like me, net worth between 100,000 and 999,000, that are going to want to get in this. There's a finite amount. Cyberspace is not going away. Outside of that, they will accumulate Bitcoin at any price. MicroStrategy can do. They've been buying at 40 and buying at 50. They bought it 59. They will continue every time they have money. That's what I'm going to do as well. The strategy behind the fever of accumulation is quite simple. Saylor has articulated that he believes the best way forward for the company is not to do anything else other than focus on its strengths. It's selling business intelligence software, taking its profit, and then storing value. Again, just not in dollars. And you have these interviews that he does. Interview last year with Melissa Lee from CNBC asked Michael Saylor, "Are you a software company or a Bitcoin hedge fund?" And he responded pretty decisively. He said, we do have a software company generating cash, but if we simply swept that cash into fiat currency and allowed it to debase at 15% a year, we'd be losing as much on the balance sheet as we generated from the profit and loss, the P&L. So that didn't make sense. And I agree with the same thing. I have two companies, one of which right now, the trading company, the high-risk lending company, most of that available cash is going into Bitcoin. And I will do that with my other company as well as the months go on, as the year progresses. Like I said, at first, when I said by 2030 this could be $1 million of Bitcoin, that was very, very bullish to some people. But now I think I might have to change that because that is too conservative for some people. Again, I'm not going to change it yet. It's a price target that I think I'm going for. Without ETFs, this will go probably to 100 grand this year. With ETFs, there's no telling what this can go to, just because you don't need ETFs if major multi-billion-dollar company after multi-billion-dollar company are putting that, and that's just some of the ones that tech geeks right now. Facebook will probably hold off just because they were trying their DM coin, they were trying their own cryptocurrency, but there's other trillion-dollar companies like Apple, like Microsoft, that can go in and can just raise the price so much. Again, Twitter, Square, and Tesla, big three right now. Moving on, Bitcoin looks like it's emerging as the primary treasury reserve asset for people that are looking for some way to avoid the great monetary inflation. And that's true with not just normal people, but you have JP Morgan Chase, I believe, that had told their clients, only their clients that have $10 million in net worth or more, to invest some of that in Bitcoin. Now, despite holding over 90,000 Bitcoin, MicroStrategy continues to buy in the $10 million and $15 million clips. Since the start of this month alone, the company announced purchases of 328 Bitcoin for $15 million on March 1st, and 205 Bitcoin for $10 million on March 5th, and most recently, 362 Bitcoin for $15 million on March 12th. When one of the world's largest publicly known Bitcoin holders continues to accumulate as much of the world's only absolutely scarce monetary asset as possible, it begs the question, what are you doing to stack more stats, more sats? Bitcoin doesn't come and find you. You have to go out and get it, says Michael Saylor. Again, this is something that I 100% believe in. I'm going all in. I'm not buying Tesla stock anymore. I wanted to. I only have 188 shares, which is not a lot in my opinion. I mean, it's worth over 100 grand, but I was going to do this knowing what Bitcoin was, and then I looked into it, and all right, yeah, Tesla can still 10x by 2030. Bitcoin can 20x minimum. Again, it's not financial advice. It's just what I'm doing, not a financial advisor. I love you guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I love you. Goodbye. Meow, meow.